Just like the ones I used to know. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyway, we're back. It's still December time for me as I'm recording this, as you can see by the tree. But it's time for the update of what BS Movies is going to be up to in 2025. We're going to be back to our old BS, and we're going to be reacting to horror movies of today, of yesterday, good movies, shitty movies, obscure movies, all horror, as you know by now. It's been like 5 years since I had this channel. If you don't know that by now, like, just look at the backlog. Just look at the backlog. So, every month this year, as usual, is going to have a theme. I worked really hard on these movies just to make sure that there was a variety of all, genres, subgenres, all walks of life, all languages of sorts. There's only really like 2 languages. But, there's not just American films on this. So, January, speaking of not just American films, is going to be Japanese Horror Month. We're going to be watching films from Japan, J-Horror January, and we're starting with Ju-On the Grudge. The Grudge, a series of movies that it's a franchise at this point, and I'd like to get into it. I haven't even seen the remake of The Grudge, so we're going to get into it with the original Ju-On the Grudge. And the Grudge has gone on so long that it made a versus movie. There's The Grudge versus The Ring. Speaking of The Ring, next week we're watching The Ring, the original, the Japanese, The Ring. Another movie which I have seen, actually, the remake of The Ring, the American one, but that one also spawned a bunch of sequels. This one spawned a bunch of its sequels. It's all franchises and stuff. And as you know, if I start a franchise, I gotta finish it. So there's the next few years of my life planned out, pretty much. And then after that, we're gonna be watching Pulse, a movie I think that's about the internet being haunted, which, what a concept. I know there's an American remake of that, but we're watching the original version of Pulse. And after that, we're getting weird, we're getting wild, we're getting wacky, we're getting monochrome with Tetsuo the Iron Man, a movie that I have been meaning to watch just because I like David Lynch movies and people have compared it to that, and it's crazy. Apparently, it's a body horror movie. And every month this year, as in 2024, Patreon will get an exclusive watch along, and for the January watch along, it's going to be a movie called One Cut of the Dead. And I do not want you to look up anything else about this movie. Just know that it's called One Cut of the Dead. All right? All right. Next up, February, we're continuing with Black History horror, and we're going back to the blaxploitation of it all with a movie called Sugar Hill. I looked at blaxploitation horror on Letterboxd. I looked at all the lists. Every list included Sugar Hill, and then I read a little bit about it, and holy shit, what a wacky sounding movie. I'm so excited to get into it. After that, we're watching Bones. Not the Star Trek movie, the movie with Snoop Dogg. How are we going to be scared of Snoop Dogg? He's like a sweetheart now. How am I going to be scared of that guy? But you have to remember, in the 90s, Snoop Dogg had affiliations. So he was scary back in the day. So we're going to be watching Bones. After that, we're watching a movie I picked simply because of the title, to be honest with you. Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde. I'm just like, and I think Mr. Hyde is white, so he turns into a white guy that's also a monster. I don't know, but just come on, man. How can you not watch a movie like that? And then we're going to continue with a series that, it's my most popular video of 2024. It's the one that people watched the most, commented on the most, interacted with the most. And every comment was like, do not watch the sequels to this movie. They're all bad. But I'm a completionist, if not anything, so I have to continue with Tales from the Hood 2. We're going to be watching, yes, the sequel to Tales from the Hood, which apparently is not as great, but how bad can it get? We're going to find out. And the Patreon exclusive for Black History Month is going to be Candyman in remembrance of the horror god himself, Tony Todd. One like the Mount Rushmore of horror movies, actors, has to have Tony Todd in it. He's just... it's a real shame we lost him. I really wanted to meet him at a con one day or something. But we're going to be watching Candyman in tribute to him. And March, since we're done dealing with that little shit leprechaun, that little asshole, we're going to be watching folk horror in March. So these are all going to be like folk horror, farm horror, I guess you could call it. And we're going to be starting off with the original Wicker Man. Because I've seen... Who hasn't seen the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man on this channel? If you're on this channel, you've seen the Nicolas Cage Wicker Man. We've all been there. I got to see the original. I like, how do you... How badly did they fuck that up? I'm gonna find out when I watch the original Wicker Man. After that, we're gonna be watching Children of the Corn. We're gonna be continuing our Stephen King streak because I didn't even watch The Shining last year. I like Stephen King. We're gonna watch Children of the Corn, and that's a franchise too. There's sequels to that, so there's next few years of that planned out. And after Children of the Corn, we're gonna be watching Village of the Damned, a movie that I think there's a remake of that also. But we're gonna be watching the original Village of the Damned, and then we'll watch the remake sometime down the line. And then at the end of that month, we're gonna be watching Gretel and Hansel, the Oz Perkins movie that came out a couple of years ago about Hansel and Gretel. Oz Perkins being the director of Longlegs and no other movies that I'm a fan of. I like Longlegs, but I'm not really an Oz Perkins guy. But we're going to find out if this one holds up. And for the Patreon exclusive of March, we're going to be watching Robert Eggers' The Witch. The Witch. We're going to be watching The Witch, a movie that actually scared the shit out of me the first time I watched it. April is, spring break time. You guys take vacations, you guys travel a little bit, so it's going to be all vacation horror-oriented movies. Except for the first one, because as we all know, April 1st is a holiday, technically, and there's a thing here with holiday horror movies where I gotta watch them on the holiday, and it's April Fool's Day. How do you make a horror out of April Fool's Day? I don't know. I mean, every horror movie has somebody be going like, this isn't a prank, is it? So I guess everybody just thinks it's... We're going to find out. Then we're going to start the vacation horror with Tourist Trap, a movie that I'm real interested in seeing. That mask is very striking. I've heard good things about it. Tourist Trap. After that, we're going to be paying our friend M. Night Shyamalan a visit with Old, which is the beach that makes you old. How am I... I'm so in. I'm so in. What a concept. What do you mean? How does a beach make you old? We're going to find out. After that, we're going to be taking a wrong turn into Wrong Turn, the franchise that is, again, another franchise that has like 8 movies. So there's the next 8 years of my life planned out. We're going to be watching Wrong Turn a year, I guess, until I'm fucking 40. Wrong Turn. After Wrong Turn, we're going to be watching Cuckoo, a movie that came out recently that I just missed. It's been a hectic year for me. I didn't have time to go to the movies that much. So we're going to be watching Cuckoo, the Hunter Schafer, Dan Stevens movie. I actually watched a movie from the director of Cuckoo on this channel. It's called Loose, if you want to check it out. It's one of the first reactions I've ever did, actually, on this channel. May is Mother's Day. And not only Mother's Day, but also my mom's birth month. So it's going to be more mother-oriented horror movies, starting with Serial Mom. I can't wait to dip my toes in the waters that is John Waters, because I'm a bit of an outsider when it comes to John Waters flicks. I think I've only seen like Hairspray, so I can't wait to see more John Waters is what I'm saying. And then after that, The Exorcist 2, because what that mom in the Exorcist movie goes through a lot, huh? And now she's got to go through it again? I don't know. I heard it's terrible, but I got to get through that one to get to 3, which is apparently the good one. After that, we're going to be watching Ma. Again, how do you make Octavia Spencer scary? How like, the sweetest looking lady. I just want to chill with Octavia Spencer. Dream Blunt rotation, Octavia Spencer. What a cool looking lady. How do you make her scary? We're going to find out with Ma. And then the week after that, we're going to do a mother who, how do you not make her look scary? With The Taking of Deborah Logan. A poster that is just like, ugh, what took her? And why are we using her full legal name? And then the Patreon exclusive is going to be the mother of all horror mothers, Psycho. Because I've been on a real Hitchcock kick lately, and Psycho is just going to be an excuse for me to nerd out on what I love about Hitchcock. June is my birth month, so we're going to be watching movies where things are birthed, born, birthdays, etc., the like. You know the deal. And we're starting with something I've been really excited to see. It's a little flick called Frankenhooker. And clearly, that is right. How have I not seen this movie yet? I'm so excited. After that, we're going to be watching The Omen 2, because we got to continue with that franchise. We got to see this little boy grow up. It's going to be in real time, I guess. Is he going to be like 10 now? I don't know what the gap is between the first and second Omen, but we're going to see what he's up to, that little asshole. Look, I got rid of Leprechaun, that little asshole, but now we got Damien, the little asshole, to deal with. So it's always one little asshole after the other. Anyway, after that, back to the nuns with Immaculate, a movie I also happened to miss last year. Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney in a nun outfit. Yeah. So we're gonna watch that one, and hopefully I don't like get distracted by Sydney Sweeney in a nun outfit, and it's just a silent review. Where I'm just like the whole movie. I heard it's actually pretty scary though, so I'm excited to see that. And after that, we're gonna be watching a movie called When Evil Lurks, because from what I've heard, from what people have told me, it's a fucking batshit crazy fucked up movie that I gotta look. Considering the things I've seen on this channel, how crazy can you get? We're gonna find out. And then the Patreon exclusive for June. I was born in 1994, so we're gonna watch a movie taking place in 1994 with the Fear Street Part 1, 1994. And I love the Fear Street trilogy. I can't wait to get into that with you folks. It's just a great modern slasher, in my opinion. July, sequel month. We're going to be watching all part 2s of movies that I've either covered on the channel or haven't covered on the channel. Just movies that I've seen. Like Smile. I saw Smile, not on the channel. I'm sorry. But I just didn't see it on the channel. But we're going to watch Smile 2 on the channel because I happened to miss that in theaters. I missed a lot in theaters. We're going to watch Smile 2 because, look, I'm going to be honest with you. First Smile, it was okay. It wasn't that scary. But Smile 2, conceptually, I think, is much more interesting sounding than Smile 1, so I can't wait to see what that's like. Then we're going to continue the Purge movies with The Purge 2. Got to stay patriotic in July, goddammit. Hopefully, there's no, like, rich kid asshole. I mean, there's going to be rich people assholes in these movies. It's The Purge, but, like, you know what I mean? I hate those villains from the first Purge. I hope these are, like, actual villains. I hope it's just better than the first Purge. I didn't like that first movie. Not the first Purge. I haven't seen the first Purge, but like the first Purge. I hate it when they do that. After that, we're back in Ty West territory with Maxine. Yes, I missed Maxine in theaters, so I'm going to be watching it with you folks. What's she up to after the events of X? Huh? Did Jenna Ortega make it out of the live in that movie? Is she like Two-Face and she getting her revenge? I don't know. We're going to find out. Terrifier. Fucking Terrifier. Look. That's another movie where I got a lot of comments where like, you got to see the next one though. The next one's where it's at. I mean, it is 2.5 hours, but once you get over that hump, it's great. So look, I didn't like it. I didn't like those first Terrifier movies, I will admit. But I respect the hell out of what Terrifier is doing to the industry. It's getting mainstream appeal, and I feel like the domino effect of these Terrifier movies doing so well is that we're gonna get a new Jason movie. And if Terrifier is responsible for that, I'm all on board for Terrifier. So we're gonna be watching Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 in July. We're watching both. Just gonna get them both out the way. And then for the Patreon exclusive, it's gonna be Abigail, because I mean, it's technically a sequel to Dracula if you think about it. But also because Abigail was one of my favorite movies of 2024. I loved it. It's fantastic. It's fun. And I can't wait to watch it along with you folks. August, as you know, year 3 of Analog August. But with a twist, we're not going to do any web series. We're not doing any more YouTube series for now. What I want to do with this Analog August is a bit of a prequel, actually. I want to watch movies that are responsible for analog horror, or movies that have inspired those analog horror people, or movies that are inspired by analog horror. Starting with Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, a found footage movie, I think from Korea. I've heard great things. I can't wait to see it. And then a movie people call like the granddaddy of analog horror, it's something called Ghost Watch, which I've heard great things about. I can't wait to watch it. And then we're going to get the Slender Man movie out of the way. We're just going to get him out of the way finally. I've been avoiding him for like 3 years. We're just going to watch him. We're just going to watch it. We're just going to get that out of the way. And then starting yet another franchise with like 8 movies, because apparently I'm going to be doing this for the next 8 years of my life. VHS. I haven't seen a VHS movie. If I said I have, I lied. I just want to look cool in front of you guys. I've never seen a VHS movie. But I can't wait to see them with you guys, starting with the first VHS. And for the Patreon exclusive of Analog August, it's a movie that I did see called Late Night with the Devil. What a fantastic movie that was. A movie that I was like, immediately was like, this would look way better and be way more effective if I saw this on a TV. And that's what I'm going to do with you folks. We're going to watch it on TV. It's gonna be fun. And then September is gonna be movies that I completely forgot that I had to get around to. For example, Remember when I saw Dawn of the Dead and I was like, you know what I'm going to watch next time? Day of the Dead. And that was like 3 years ago, and I just never got around to watching Day of the Dead because I forgot. I remember now. We're going to watch Day of the Dead. I'm very excited. I can't believe we're getting to it finally. So we're going to watch that. And then another movie that I missed in theaters that I really wanted to see, because again, M. Night, these concepts, they're wild. Trap. What a wild concept that is, M. Night. I can't wait. And I like that Josh Hartnett is getting a resurgence now. He's a great actor. The Substance, another movie I haven't missed in theaters. And look, if a movie that has been compared to Society, which I saw on this channel, and you guys saw how I felt about Society, if a movie's being compared to a movie like that and it's being nominated for a bunch of Golden Globe Awards, that's crazy. That's insane. Could you imagine? I gotta see what the hell that's about. So we're gonna watch The Substance and then The Pope's Exorcist, because again, I said it last year when I said I was gonna watch it and then never got around to it, but I'll say it again. I just want to see Russell Crowe in a tiny little moped. This looks funny. He looks funny, and with a funny Italian accent, hell yeah. And then for the Patreon exclusive, it's back to school month. And speaking of Josh Hartnett, we're gonna be watching The Faculty. You guys know I'm terrified of body snatchers. This movie is partly a reason why. It's one of the first movies I saw with body snatchers. October, Goosebumps-tober. We're finally going to get around to, I think, the end of season 2 of Goosebumps. I don't know. I still have so many Goosebumps episodes left. Hopefully I get to do more this year, not just one a week. I want to try to do at least 2 a week so I can get Goosebumps over with and move on to Are You Afraid of the Dark or Tales from the Crypt or The Creepshow, other anthology horror series that I could riff on in October. November is family. It's all about family. Family, as Vin Diesel says. So, Ready or Not, we're watching in October. The Hills Have Eyes. I'm assuming that's a mutant family, right? It's a Wonderful Knife. I'm assuming there's a family that. I'm just watching that because how the fuck do you make a horror movie out of It's a Wonderful Life? Like, one of the... I love It's a Wonderful Life. And then The Menu, because it's Thanksgiving and food. You connect the dots. Speaking of Thanksgiving, Patreon exclusive for this month. You connect the dots again. Here we go. It's Thanksgiving by Eli Roth. A really fun slasher. And then December, Jingle Bell Schlock. And folks, we're going to go back. We're going to get punished again with Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Where the fuck do we go after that first movie end? I don't know. I'm excited to find out. Then we're going to watch a movie called The Dorm That Dripped Blood. What is it about college kids and Christmas that just, there's so many Christmas movies that are horror movies like that? I don't know, but we're going to find out with The Dorm That Dripped Blood. After that, To All a Good Night. That's the name of the movie, To All a Good Night. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm starting to run out of Christmas horror movies that look like something I could cover on this channel. Because, I don't know, next year I might just do all Krampus movies. Because there's so many Krampus movies. I've only seen the one, the Michael Dougherty Krampus. I love that one. But, there's so many knockoff Tubi Krampus movies. Maybe the year after this, I'll do that. And then we're wrapping up with, of course, the final Black Christmas, the remake of Black Christmas. Movie I heard is terrible. But there you go. That's BS Movies for 2025. God willing, because, but I got sick and I missed a month. And just life get in the way, and I missed a couple of weeks and things like that. But hopefully I stay healthy this year. Hopefully, I got a steady job now, and hopefully we could do this. We could do 52 movies a year. That's a lot when you think about it. But hey, a movie a week, that's nothing. That's nothing. Maybe more actually with Goosebumps-tober. That's like, I'm not even gonna get into it. Look, thank you guys. Somewhere along the line, I'm going to hit 1,000 subscribers. I've announced it before, but I'll announce it again on this one. I'm going to be watching Night of the Living Dead, the original, because it's public domain. So that's the 1,000 subscriber video, along with a drunk reaction of another Beyond Belief episode, because I just have to. I got to see more of that show. I love that show. It's so fucking nuts. And a couple of bonus videos. Patreon pals, you're going to get bonus videos. Patreon pals, by the way, if you join the Patreon, you get to suggest a movie for me to watch, and I'll watch it and post it to the Patreon exclusively. Ken, I keep forgetting to watch yours. I'll watch yours this year. And I had a couple of new Patreon people. They just never responded. So, guys, what movie do you want me to watch? Let me know. And see you guys in 2025 for more BS and you know, a year of. God, I had a good intro. Like I had a good outro right there. I had a good out. I had a good out. See you guys for more BS. I could have just stopped there, but no. People were like, "Oh my god, he did it! He finally found an outro, and then he just fumbled it right there, right before your eyes." What am I doing? I'm recording for too long. I'm losing my voice. Anyway, see you guys in January for J Horror January. All right.